Okay, so we're coming towards the end now. Is there anything that you feel like you would like to touch on before we go into a quick fire round of 5 questions?
I mean, there's a lot of things that I've written about. Um, I mean, I've said things like a successful work of art should include all that which is necessary and exclude all which is unnecessary.
Yeah.
It is no easy matter to construct a sequence of complex intersecting movements in a multidimensional, dynamic, real-time performance piece. Intellect, intuition, emotion, and sensation are all consistent aspects of a successful composition. It's very complicated. I have thought about writing a book, but I'm not going to write a whole book about it. But it is very, like I was saying in the beginning, very very beginning, when I was saying that skaters, when you said different from dance, because a dancer is on the ground with shoes of some sort on. Depending on what kind of dance they're doing, barefoot or ballet shoes or jazz shoes or whatever. But skaters are covering a space. They're filling that space in all different, like I said, if you had light tracings, you'd be making art just from the way that you're moving around. And the cutting into the ice is another art in a way. Sometimes I'll watch a skater warming up or improvising on the ice and see all the marks that they're making. And you have the different speeds that you're doing. Sometimes you can skate like in slow motion, or all different types of speeds. I love we did a piece with John Curry. He choreographed it called Le Petit Suite pour Harp, and it was with a live harpist, and it was a beautiful harpist playing this music by David Watkins with beautiful backcloth, which was all, the screen was all shades of blue, and then leafy projections on the ice. And after the soloist, I came out and did a solo, and then I backed into the corner, and two other girls come behind me, and we literally moved in slow motion, which was really hard because we had to be in complete control of the movement because we're slowing it down. And even though some people might think that's easier, it's not, because you're having to balance longer in a position. And we did things that had never been done before. I would love to recreate that piece that John created. And I actually helped him. Not many people know this, but he would say to me, Lorna, go and do some of your beautiful movements.
Yeah.
And so I'd go off and just improvise and do something, And I also helped to choreograph a piece called Oxygen, which was a Jean-Michel Jarre piece. And we're all wearing these painted costumes that we had been wearing in the Mask of Separation piece. And I mean, I think some people just move instinctively, but if they're not trained like dancers are, it's going to look messy. There's not going to be any structure. So for me, there has to be structure. There has to be refinement and detail. And that's what I think makes my work stand out, is the creativity combined with the sculptural forms of shape, the shape and the form. And also stage what I do so that the audience gets the very best angles of, because you are all over the place when you're on the ice. If it's a professional piece for a show, then I definitely would have it staged for the audience.
Yeah.
I know when my skaters perform with Ice Theatre of New York, I say my skaters, anybody I've worked with is a part of me, you know, especially the ones that I've worked with recently. And Ice Theatre of New York, you know, have the audience on one side, and you know, everybody can see the best angles. I love Ice Theatre of New York for the opportunities that they've given me. And there's hardly any ice shows anymore. You know, there used to be lots of ice shows like Ice Capades, Ice Follies, Paris sur Glace, and all these different things. There was even skating in the Lido. I auditioned for that once. There's a story behind that.
Yeah, I love Ice. I love that show, The Lido.
Yeah.
Enjoy watching that.
It was a fantastic show. Different kind of show altogether. You know, I mean, the Moulin Rouge, the Crazy Horse, the Lido, you know, the burlesque, they were in such good taste. They were so beautiful and so professional and so well done. Yeah. Learned from all of those different things.
Yeah.
Bossy, my favorite jazz choreographer. I'm sure everybody else's as well.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to see a show?
I haven't been. I've been to skating shows, but I haven't been to that many here in LA. It's such a long way to go. But I have been to see some of the ballet companies who perform there.
Yeah, it's funny. I took my grandma a couple of weeks ago to 2 shows in Blackpool. They were awful. One we left at the intermission, and the other one we left a little bit after the intermission.
It makes you wonder how these shows get to be produced.
Blackpool, it's just like
when there are shows, there are people who want to produce shows that are beautiful and entertaining and can't even get.
What's really hard when you're older and you've seen so many things. It's almost impossible to be impressed unless you go to see a really big show, you know, somewhere in Las Vegas, or you know, you just see the creme de la creme. Then it's different. But when you've seen the creme de la creme, and then you go and watch you're just like, what is this?
Yeah, this is something else. Like, because I have done probably about 45 ice shows and galas, and worked with people like Robin Cousins, John Curry, Torval and Dean, Paul Wiley, lots of different artists, and worked with different choreographers, seen lots of shows of other shows. I almost did Starlight Express. That's another story I could go into, but I almost got in it, which was a bit scary because I never really thought I would ever get chosen. But when you've got that experience and you're teaching younger skaters, you know, about the professional side of skating, it's going to take them their own experience to learn as well as what you can teach them. You know, you can teach them so much, but a lot of it is life experience.
Yeah.
But you are very picky, like you were just saying, when you go to a show and you see something and it's not good, it's like you don't want to sit through it and watch it because it's a waste of time.
I'd rather be sat at home. I'd rather be asleep. I'd rather get some rest and watch.
But you become picky, don't you? Because you know what looks good and you know what is not good.
Yeah.
And I don't go to I would not go. I mean, obviously you didn't know what that was about and you thought it was a good night out or whatever. But usually I wouldn't go to a show that wasn't really established as such.
I went to watch Hot Ice here. The closing night. I left at the intermission. I mean, it was half of the show is enough because you see the boys do millions of jumps the same. The pairs was really, really poor, and half a show is enough for me. I'm like, I've seen it. I don't need to watch the same because there's no story. It's just different.
I wish that I could. You know, I shouldn't say this, but I wish that I could have the opportunity of creating something new, because I don't know whether they base everything on past
Well, it's
you know,
just they have
ask
the same
choreography
choreographer come
or
in
ideas.
and they do the same things, and the one of the biggest problems is they'll have jumps for the sake of jumps. There won't be. I remember when I worked for Robin Cousins, I did his show Ice, and he would say there'll only be a jump if the music calls for it, not
Yeah.
just like, okay, all the boys are going to do a jump. You'll have 15 boys go and do a jump, double axel, triple toe. So for 99% of the people watching the show, they don't know the difference between a toe loop and a flip. You have to really understand skating to know the difference.
Oh
For them,
yeah, the audience isn't going to
and
have
they've
any
jumped in
idea.
the air, and he's jumped and he's jumped. And
Mm.
after you've seen 200 jumps after like 5 numbers, you're like,
Mm.
what are we
I mean,
doing?
you could, if you did it like a contemporary dance show, you could do a whole show if it's really well choreographed without any of the typical skating jumps. And I've made it a point sometimes to choreograph. Like when I worked with Beata Handra, she's an ice dancer,
Yeah,
and we did a piece that was, I think, 4.5 minutes without a jump or spin.
yeah,
And I think if you can do that and you can make it a masterpiece,
yeah. But
which she did,
the quality of the
um,
edges, the turns, and the movements has to be very high to be able to do that.
but it's not just it's about the quality of that skater. You know, the way that they have evolved through those. You know, and how can I explain this? It's like they can just stand there and look good, but
Yeah,
obviously they're not going to just stand there and look good. But you can be so creative in movement and inventive that you don't need to pop a jump in. Or if you do, maybe it'll be a jeté and a beautiful arm position
yeah,
or something, you know. And if you spin, then the skater should be a good spinner. Um, and the spins should be as choreographed in a way as everything else is, the way the head is, the arm is, the hand is, you know. But a million people can do the same spin, and a million people can do this, literally millions can do
yeah,
the same jumps. What they can't do is the art part of
yeah,
it,
yeah,
you know, the creative side of it. And there aren't that many that I know. I think Shailene Bourne is great, and she has, there's a lot of
yeah.
male choreographers,
That,
but I
yeah,
think
that
women,
that brings up a
women,
great point. Skaters should really lean into the art side because then you'll stand out. Because I mean, if you tune into any competition online, the big competitions, and you're watching whoever comes 21st or 22nd, essentially from 15 to 28, they all look the same. You do the same things. It's like there's no, and then occasionally there's someone that just moves well, and you're like, oh, I like
yeah, yeah. It's sad. I mean, nobody wants to ignore those skaters. They've all worked hard. You know, they're all doing the best they can. But sometimes when you're watching television or whatever you're watching on whatever device, um,
it.
um, yeah, it's like you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah,
A skater comes out and they start, like, can't watch it.
yeah,
I when I was a competitor, when I was young, I never looked at my competitors.
yeah,
I never looked at them. I only knew what I was doing and what I wanted to do. And one of my biggest inspirations as a kid in my early teens was Isadora Duncan. And I don't know how I first learned about it. I think it was a bookshop, and I saw this picture of this beautiful, long, white, flowing thing, this dancer, and it was My Life by Isadora Duncan. I read the book, and something that stuck in my mind forever was she said that she would stand for long long periods of time and just feel every atom of her being. And she was American. She, did some, outrageous things. I think she went on stage naked once.
Yeah.
But she was iconic. She had no rules. She created her little dance groups, dance school, very Grecian style. They used to wear these little white draped things, and but that was an inspiration. So I used to go and dance in the garden.
Yeah.
In long white. My mother made me these long white draped outfits that I could prance around in. But I was in Edinburgh for a while, training up there with Roberta Swan Seabrook, and I used to go to all of the Edinburgh festivals, and I'd go to all the dance. What did they call that again? Anyway, dance groups, and study movement.
Yeah.
I would study movement with animals, with fish. I remember once watching a program which was how athletes learn from insects, or if you watch how a cheetah runs, it's incredible how they are the fastest runners on the earth. And so you can study how creatures move, and you can try to use those techniques, if you like, to enhance your own form of movement, whatever it is you do.
Yeah, no, of course. Okay, so should we hit these last 5 questions then to finish it off?
Yeah.
So in one word or one sentence, that's the goal. They're going to be kind of rapid fire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what's your favorite genre of music to choreograph to?
My favorite music?
Music
What
genre.
type of music?
Favorite music genre.
What's
Pop, country, the different types of music.
I don't really have a favorite. I love Armenian. I choreographed a piece for Hannah Beju, which was absolutely beautiful. I'd have to look it up again. It was Armand Amar, I think.
Yeah.
It was very haunting and very beautiful, and she
Yeah.
was amazing. She interpreted my ideas and choreography beautifully. So I like music which is deep in feeling, but I also love jazz, but it's going to be more in the Bon Fossey style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's got to have a style. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your biggest choreography pet peeve you see on the ice?
My biggest
Pet peeve.
pet.
Pet peeve? Well, like what pet hate, pet peeve?
Oh,
When yeah, it's depends.
what do I not like?
Yeah, what do you see on the ice that you just like, when something's been choreographed and you just see it and you just like, oh no.
Hard, really, because it could take a lot of time to answer that. But I have to see quality
Yeah.
in skaters. I don't want to see bad technique in the way the skater moves across the ice in the most basic way. I like to see refinement in them, and then you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Flexibility, ease of movement.
Or yeah, bad splits. That's a pet peeve when you see really bad splits. Is there any performance that you can think of that would be an inspiration for skaters to study?
I mean, I would definitely look into the world of dance. Sylvie Gerlain, she's a French ballet dancer, but she did all different types of dance, like Baryshnikov. He was a ballet dancer, but he went on to do all kinds, and he was interviewed once and he said he wished he could do everything.
Yeah.
But he got to dance with people like Shirley MacLaine, and he worked with Twyla Tharp as well. She was a very, very unusual choreographer. And he once said, that he just couldn't do everything. You can't do everything. And originally he said he couldn't choreograph. I mean, I think he did, he did eventually choreograph. Some people can't. Some people can be choreographed onto, but when it comes to, like I was talking about earlier, when you start off a class and you have everybody in a circle and you ask them to identify themselves through body language, they might be an amazing skater and perform beautiful choreography, but when you get them to step out and show who they are through maybe one or two movements, it's very interesting to see what they actually do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you currently working on or most excited about right now?
Well, I've already choreographed some pieces that are being performed, like the Modigliani piece with Sarah Beji, Timelessness with Liz Yoshiko-Schmidt and Daniel Berdnikov, and also a piece that I did for Daniel separately, which was The Language of the Soul. I'm dying to see that being performed again with a different costume, to be quite honest. I have a very lovely young 8-year-old student. She's going to be 9 soon.
Yeah.
And she's Chinese and very talented. She's a Taekwondo champion of the country at her age, for her age group, and has incredible talent. And I love going in and teaching her. She's so wonderful. And I posted her a little bit online, not a lot yet, but she is very special, and I think she has an it quality.
Yeah. No, I've seen some of the pictures that you posted and maybe videos as well, and she looks quite spectacular.
I mean, it's a joy. You go in, she comes up to me like this bundle of energy, full of life and love, and she can be fall over and go into the splits or do some, she's really fearless. And also what I love about it is she's uninhibited, and she has wonderful parents, and she's a joy, a real joy to work with.
Yeah.
But they all are, all those skaters that I've mentioned are all beautiful people.
You only work with people that are joys.
And I again thank Moira North and Jarena Ribbons and Mazal in the office. They do a tremendous job to keep Ice Theatre of New York going, and all of the other skating companies are struggling to survive sometimes, to keep things going, but they keep going, and I wish everybody the best of luck and the best possibilities. It would be great if all of those people would get together, make a show.
That would be great.
Need millions of dollars. So if anybody's watching,
I know. I say, like, it just takes one meeting to have, you meet someone that's a billionaire that just wants to back you in everything that you want to do.
Well, that's how John Curry got lucky. Some multi-millionaire saw him and wanted to sponsor him. He would never have got there without it.
Yeah.
I'll never get my show without that. I'll never get my show unless I have the money, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm channeling it that I can create all of these facilities around the world for skaters and all the different ice and roller rinks I want to do and the different types of shows. It's going to happen
Mm.
one way or another. I'm going to meet Elon.
Somehow we have to keep going.
Yeah,
We never give up. Never get up.
exactly.
Give up our dreams or intentions. Because when you do give up, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Some skaters, they never skate anymore after they stop competing.
I know.
It's a
Well,
shame.
here's one of the well, there's many issues in the industry, but there isn't a lot of shows for the really high level skaters. You know, you'll win the Olympics, and then what do you do? So many skaters, they win the Olympics at 16, and then their whole life is just that.
Mhm.
It's all
Yeah.
downhill. There's no
Michelle Kwan,
shows to go and
I'm
do.
not
It's
quite sure what she did now, but there wasn't a lot.
well, most of the
And
shows, the Royal Caribbean, Holiday on Ice, Disneyland. Well, this is more of for your not average skaters, but not the absolute tops. That's not for them. So what is
no.
for them? There needs to be like there used to be these champions on ice, Tom Collins on ice, you know, all these stars
Mhm.
on ice. There used to be all of these, but they're not there anymore.
I mean, they do have stars on ice, but apart from that, not an awful lot. There are galas, you know, people put on one night shows,
Yeah,
like Scott Hamilton, um, you know, put one night things on. But that's like one night.
yeah. We need
We need
more,
we need a
more.
company touring that's really professional though,
Yeah.
because yeah.
I mean, in this world, you can have a lot of different types of online competitions. Like some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, just to bring something different, more creative. So you're not just on ice. You can be on inlines. You can be on quads. You can be on any surface. You can be on both surfaces. You can be really
Mm.
creative. It's not
Mm.
just you've got to do your jumps. It's like no,
Well, you
create.
can use artificial ice in the middle of something, and you can also have one of the when I mentioned Robert Cohen, the choreographer, the contemporary dance moves with Martha Graham. I forget the name of it now, but there was one of his pieces, one of his dance pieces, and they were. This is the kind of thing that I love. There was a. It opened on the video. It opens up with a picture, and people are part of the picture.
Yeah,
So they're painted, and they come out from the painting, and on that painting, that backcloth, there are different dimensions, different. There are ledges, so there are bodies that can move on those different platforms and merge. I mean, you can't describe it. But he was Robert Cohen was one of the most amazing choreographers who's ever lived, and he died recently. And he was a wonderful person,
yeah.
and he knew what he wanted to do. He was incredible. He did things nobody had ever done before. But you need the facilities. You need the platform. You know, you need money, or you don't. We don't have the Royal Skating School like the Royal Ballet. We don't have that. You know, skaters are with their individual coaches and choreographers,
Yeah.
and some of them have 10 different coaches, which I find pretty amusing. Because I do believe that you need to have a bond with the person who's going to take you to the top.
Yeah. Oh,
With
definitely.
your choreographer have to be, you know, you have to be bonded with them to a certain extent.
So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me again, Lorna, as we start my podcast again.
Yeah, it's been lovely. I'm sure that we could talk all day about different things because one thing leads to another all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It like
sure.
it opens up all different kinds of things.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately,
thank you so much for having me.
I do need
on the show.
to sleep. I've been awake for about 19 hours.
Oh,
But yeah, thank you so much. Any last words you want to leave with the
no,
audience before we?
no. I'm grateful that we've had the chance to
Yeah,
talk about the things we have.
wow, that's been amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Adam.
If you've watched all 4 parts, then you are amazing. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment for Lorna because she is doing amazing things in the choreographic industry and have an